you can shift instantly to a parallel reality where what you desire is already done, is already yours. Let me show you how. What's up, superheroes? Welcome back to my channel, the place where we make the impossible possible. If you're new here, hi. I'm Scarlett Grace, I'm a manifestation coach, and I'm here to help you manifest your heart's desires and a life that's better than your wildest dreams. In this video, I want to share with you an amazing process to help you shift instantly to your desired reality, the reality where what you now desire is already a done deal. It has already happened. It's already yours. I'm going to give you the exact steps to take to make that happen. And I'm also going to explain how to know if it has worked, if you have actually shifted realities. But before we get into this, if you want to learn how to manifest any desire fast with the Law of Assumption and Neville Goddard's teachings, then subscribe and hit the bell icon. I also have several self-study courses to help you manifest, including a 21-day course on how to manifest your specific person that has been recently updated with more meditations, more material. And if you need some extra help or my personal advice for your situation, coaching is open. You can find the links for all of those things in the description below. Many people believe that we have only one reality and that's it, but that's not true. The truth is that there's actually infinite numbers of realities. Any desire that you have, there is a reality where that desire has already come true for you. It doesn't matter what your desire is. If there wasn't a reality where this thing, this desire, was already yours, you wouldn't even be able to imagine it, let alone desire it. So if right now you have a desire for anything in the world, it may be love, it may be a specific person, it may be a specific job, it may be a house, it may be moving to the other end of the world, it may be some kind of physical transformation. No matter what it is, if you desire it, that is confirmation that there is actually a parallel reality where you already have that thing or achieved that thing. So anything you can desire and anything you can imagine, whether it is good or bad, exists in some reality. There is a reality where that thing has happened. And even though people make reality shifting very complicated, the truth is that we shift realities all day, every day. This is something that comes naturally to us. This is something that we have been doing since birth. It's not something unusual. It just sounds strange because we don't actually know that there are infinite versions of realities. We think we have this one reality and stuff just happens to this reality. That's not true. The reason we don't realize that we shift realities all the time is because most people live pretty predictable lives. So for the most part, people switch between realities that are very similar to each other. And the main reason they shift from one reality to the other is if they're thinking positively about something, they tend to shift to realities where things run more smoothly for them, or things that they call luck and lucky events happen to them. Whereas when they start thinking more negatively about things, they start experiencing situations that aren't so good, unlucky coincidences, things going badly, but not something so extreme that it would make you think, oh, I switched realities. That's why it feels natural to us when we switch realities and we don't even realize that it's happening. A second reason we don't realize that we shift between realities is that if you want to manifest something that feels big to you in the sense that it feels very far away from where you are right now, there are many different realities between the reality you are in right now and that thing being already yours. So think of them as in-between realities, realities that are better than your current situation, but they're not the final reality where you have the full thing and it's 100% yours. If you ever experienced this yourself, or if you ever heard of anybody else having a complete overnight transformation in a situation in their lives, where one day things were terrible and literally the very next day everything had changed as if by magic, what happened in those cases was that person transferred from the current reality all the way to the final reality very, very fast. And that's why it feels so shocking that things change so suddenly. Most people, though, They don't travel from their current reality all the way to that other reality within hours or within seconds. So they pass from the in-between realities where things may be slightly better, but they're not the final reality. The reason I'm talking about this is because you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware that in most cases, people pass from a few in-between realities on the way to that final reality. That means that no matter what manifestation method you use, or no matter what method you use to transfer instantly to your desired reality, you may still come across some situations in your physical reality that haven't changed after you do the process that I'm going to give you once, or after you do it for a few days. That doesn't mean that it's not working. That means that you are in one of the in-between realities. Things are shifting. They just haven't shifted within a second to transform your whole physical reality as if by magic. So think of those events that don't shift instantly like echoes of your old reality, of your old way of thinking. If you don't pay any attention to them, if you don't start thinking, how am I going to resolve this? It's not the way I like yet. What am I going to do about this? Those situations will go away very soon because they belong to one of the in-between realities. They will not exist in your final reality. You don't have to do anything about them because you're leaving soon. You're moving from reality to reality. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because when some of those situations don't get immediately resolved, people tend to think that what they're doing is not working, or they did something wrong, or something along those lines. And you're not doing anything wrong. It's a simple process. If you stick to it and ignore those events, you will soon be out of that reality and in a version of reality that is either your final destination, where that thing definitely doesn't exist, or in a better in-between reality where that thing, again, won't exist. So you don't have to fix it. You don't have to do anything about it, okay? So now that you understand the concept of parallel realities and in-between realities, let's actually get to the method of how to shift realities instantly. The first step to shift realities instantly is you need to decide what your new reality is going to be. Where are you going? Imagine it like a trip. You choose a destination. So what is your destination in this case? What is it that you want? What kind of life do you want to have? If you know what you want to manifest, we can move on to step number 2. What I want you to do in step number 2 is this. I want you to spend a little bit of time daydreaming about already having this desire. Imagine that whatever it is that you want, whatever event it is that you want to manifest, whatever object you want to acquire, whatever relationship you want to have, imagine that it happened 6 months ago. It has been yours for 6 months. And daydream about what your life is now that this thing manifested. So let's say that you were looking for a new job that pays double what your old job used to pay you. Imagine that you found that new job and you got hired 6 months ago. What does your life look like now? What is different? How do you feel compared to what you felt before? Or imagine that you are single and you wanted to manifest your ideal relationship, and that could be with a specific person or with your soulmate that you hadn't met yet. So imagine that you met this person 6 months ago. How is your life different now? Do you feel differently? Are you happier, calmer, more confident? Do you live in the same place? Just daydream about what your life looks now that you've had your desire for 6 whole months. And more important than the actual visuals of what that new life, that new reality looks like, is who you are in that reality. How do you identify yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you think about the world, about that situation, about everything? Because when our life changes, we are not the same person that we were before. You do not think the same way when you're single and when you are in a relationship. You do not see the world the same way when you're making 3K per month and when you make 20K per month. So in that new reality where you want to jump, you are a different version of yourself. What I want you to identify, what I want you to explore in your imagination is how are you different in that new reality? Do you make different choices? And it's not about big and important things. It could be something like, up until now, you got coffee at home to take with you to work, but now you buy coffee at Starbucks before going to work. Or maybe if you think about it, if you had that new job, you would change your hair because you feel that a different style would be more fitting to your new job, to your new lifestyle. Maybe you would dress differently. Or maybe it's not about how you dress or where you buy your coffee, and it's just how you feel on the inside. Maybe you realize that in that new reality where your desire is already yours, you are calmer. You don't have as many insecurities. You think more positively of yourself. You have more positive self-talk. You do not berate yourself in your head all the time. You are more confident socially because you don't have social anxiety anymore. It could be anything. I just want you to feel into that new reality and explore it. Step 3. Once you have explored this new reality in your imagination, what I want you to do is I want you to make a note, and that can be a physical note or just a mental note, of any specific scenes that you daydreamed about that were very enjoyable for you. It can be just one scene that makes you feel really good when you imagine it, or it can be multiple scenes. Just make sure to remember that those need to be scenes from months after your desire has already manifested. So make a note of your favorite scenes from your daydreaming because we're going to use them later. And let's move on to step number 4. Now for step number 4, what you need is to find a door. And I mean a physical door. The ideal situation would be if your bedroom has a door, you can use that. But if your bedroom doesn't have a door, you can use another door, preferably where you live. And I'm going to explain exactly what you're going to do with that door. So, when you want to go to bed at night, I want you to stand in front of the door of your bedroom on the outside. So you're not inside your bedroom, you're on the outside, about to step through the doorway and into your bedroom, okay? I want you to stand in front of the door and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to tell yourself that once I step through this doorway, this is the doorway to my final reality, to the reality where I want to transfer to, the reality I want to jump to. Once I take that step and go through that doorway, I will be in my new reality. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine that until you truly have the sense that, yes, I am standing at the doorway between my current reality and the new reality. And when you have that sense, without opening your eyes, I want you to step through that doorway. And once you step through that doorway, that's when you open your eyes. Step number 5. You have stepped through the doorway and you have opened your eyes. What I want you to do now is I want you to start looking around your bedroom and I want you to notice that, wow, I'm in a new reality, but at least my bedroom looks the way I left it. It's so weird. Everything looks familiar, but I'm in a new reality. It's identical. And I want you to start scrutinizing things, looking at things, touching things like, oh, here are my books. The same books that I left here, but in a new reality. They look exactly the same as the books that I had in my old reality. Or the sheets are the same color as in my bed in my old reality, but this is a completely new reality. And I want you to spend a few minutes doing that. Basically, it's like somebody made an exact replica of your bedroom, but it's in a new reality and you're going around admiring how similar they made everything because you know that this is not the old reality anymore. So this is not your old bedroom. This is your bedroom in a completely new reality. Step number 6. So you've looked around your room and you're now lying in your bed. What I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and remember those scenes that I asked you to make a note of, your favorite scenes from your daydreaming. You can now use those scenes and close your eyes and imagine that this is your life now. And if it is one scene, you can keep playing the same scene over and over and over until you fall asleep. And if you have more than one favorite scenes, you can play one after the other in any order you like, as long as they are from a first-person point of view. So it's not like watching a movie of yourself. You are inside your body, looking out of your own eyes, and you are experiencing in your imagination all those cool things that are happening in your life, in this reality that you've already transferred to. And just fall asleep imagining those scenes and feeling those wonderful feelings because you are in your final reality now where you wanted to go. Isn't that amazing? Step number 7. In step number 7, you're going to do the same thing that you did in step number 5. So it's the next morning, you woke up, you can have coffee first, you can shower if you like, or you can do this immediately after opening your eyes. But what I want you to do is I want you to spend a few seconds to a few minutes looking around either your bedroom, your apartment or house, and noticing the things that look identical to your old reality and think, wow, this truly looks identical. Like if I didn't know a transferred realities, I would say it's the same thing. It's the same fridge and it has the same dent on the door. But it's not. Amazing. It is exactly the same in the new reality. Step number 8. In step number 8, what I want you to do is I want you to start figuring out the things that you want to be doing differently now that you are in your final reality. Remember when I asked you to figure out how you are different compared to when you lived in your old reality? And this can be something about your looks or your habits or the way you talk or the way you feel inside. I want you to consciously decide to become this person now. And you can do that by asking yourself, now that I am in my new reality, how would I do this? Now that I am in my new reality where I have the new job, what kind of coffee do I drink? Or now that I am in a relationship with my soulmate, maybe it's time to get that haircut that I wanted to get for all this time, or do that hair color change, stuff like that. This is not taking action. You don't need to take physical action to make your desires manifest. This is becoming the version of you that you are when your desire is already yours. It's not about taking steps to make the desire happen. It's about who you are on the inside. It's becoming that version that completely matches your desire and the reality that you transferred to. I want you to consciously check with yourself several times during the day to make sure that your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your inner talk match that version of you. From now on, you don't have to do this process every single day. The only 2 things that you need to do is, when you fall asleep at night, you fall asleep imagining those beautiful scenes from your new reality that have already happened, that are already yours, as if they're happening right now. And the rest of the day, you make conscious choices about your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your style that match that version of you. And if at any moment you catch yourself feeling very insecure or thinking negatively, because this kind of thing can happen, but we don't want you to stay in those feelings and start transferring back to more negative realities and getting away from your destination, right? So what I want you to do is, I want you to repeat that step where you look around and notice the things that are similar to the old reality and thinking, wow, that desk is exactly the same as my old reality, but I know that it's not the same because I know I'm in a different reality now. And focus on that instead of focusing on your negative feelings or your insecurities or your anxiety. Focus on the physical things that are identical, but they're not the same because you're not in the same reality. And that will bring you back. Now, I promised to explain how to check if this process has worked. There are several different ways to check if you have already shifted realities, but the main one is you feel like a different person. If you catch yourself spontaneously without you having to figure out how that new version of you would behaving differently, so maybe the old version of you had social anxiety, but the new version of you doesn't, or doesn't have it as strongly, that means that you have shifted. If you catch yourself having thoughts that come from the new version of you without trying to come up with those thoughts, it's not when you ask yourself, how would the new version of me react to this situation? You do it instantly. You do it without thinking, or you're having new thoughts without having to consciously think them or use affirmations, and those thoughts match the reality where you want to transfer. That means that you did the whole thing successfully and you've already shifted. Even if you're not in your final reality, you are in a much better version of reality and you're moving through realities right now as we speak on the way to the reality where your desire is already yours. That is the main sign. But there are many other signs that let you know that you have shifted realities. If you want to know what those signs are, I have a video specifically about that, so go watch it. I'm going to link it in the description below as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell icon, because I put out new videos every Sunday to help you manifest an amazing life.